Good day everyone. In today's video we are going to talk about parallel lines and perpendicular lines. But before we do that, let's have a quick recap on the equation of a straight line that is generally represented as this: y is equals to mx plus c. C is the y-intercept and m is the slope of the straight line. Let's assume we are given a point on the graph. We have this to be our y-axis, this is s-axis. And we're given the coordinates of this point x1, y1, and we have a straight line passing through that point. Let's show that straight line, and we have it somewhere like this. Good. And we're given the slope of this straight line to be m. Alright, we're given the value. And so how can we deduce the equation of this straight line passing through the points x1, y1? So this is the formula we're going to use for that. M, which is the slope, is equals to y minus y1 over x minus x1. Let's consider an example. In this example, we're given our slope. Our slope is actually -2, and we're given a point. The coordinate of that point is 5, 3. Alright, so let's use our formula, which is m is equals to y minus y1 over x minus x1. So this formula will help us to get the straight line passing through the point 5, 3. So our slope is -2, and we have y minus y1. This is x1, this is y1. So y1 is 3, and x minus x1 is 5. So this is actually divided by 1, and so we can cross multiply. We're going to have y minus 3 -2 brackets x minus 5, and y minus 3, open this bracket, that will be -2x. -2 times -5, that's going to give us plus 10. So uh, add plus 3 to both sides of the equation, so we have -2x plus 10 plus 3, and y is going to be -2x plus 13. So this is the equation of the line passing through the point 5, 3. What are parallel lines? Two lines are said to be parallel if they do not intersect themselves, and most especially if the slope of one of the line is the same as the slope of the second line. Let's take a look at these two lines, the red line and the blue line. The red line is said to be parallel to the blue line if the slope of the red line is taken to be m1 and the slope of the blue line is taken to be m2. So if m1 is equals to m2, then we say that these two lines are what? They are parallel because the slope is the same. Let's consider an example. In this example, we are given an equation 2x plus y is equals to 5. So we're given two other equations to confirm if they are parallel, if the line for those equations are parallel to the line for this equation. Okay, let's rearrange this because this equation is in standard form. So if we subtract 2x from both sides of the equation, we're going to have y equals to -2x plus 5. So let's take the slope for this equation to be m1, and that's going to give us -2. Okay, for the first line, we are given x plus y is equals to 5. That's for option A. So let's rearrange this again. We have y is equals to -x plus 5. So let's take our slope to be m2, and that is going to give us -1. The coefficient of x is the slope, which is -1. So if you look at it critically now, you will realize that m1 is not equals to m2. So therefore, the line for x plus y equals to 5 is not parallel for 2x plus y equals to 5. Now let's proceed to the second option. The second option, we are given y is equals to 3 minus 2x. So let's rearrange this. Y is equals to -2x plus 3. So from here, the coefficient of x, which is the slope, is negative 2. Let's take that to be m3, negative 2. Alright, m1 is negative 2, m3 is negative 2. So since m1 is equals to m3, so we can say the line for this equation, y equals to 3 minus 2x, is parallel to the line for the equation 2x plus y is equals to 5. In this example, we are given 2x plus 3y is equals to 6. So we want to find a line that is parallel to 2x plus 3y equals to 6. So it's in standard form. Let's convert it to slope intercept form so that we can easily get our slope. So we subtract 2x from both sides of the equation, and that's going to give us 3y is equals to negative 2x plus 6. Alright, so let's divide through by 3, and that's going to give us y equals to negative 2x divided by 3 plus 6 divided by 3. So this is going to give us y equals to negative 2x plus 2. So what's our slope here now? Our slope is actually negative 2 over 3. That's the coefficient of x. Alright, now we're now to look for a line that passes through the point negative 1 comma 2, and it has to be parallel to 2x plus 3y equals to 6. So if it's going to parallel to that equation, then the slope has to be the same. So we take this to be our x1 and this is our y1. So negative 2 over 3 is equals to y minus y1 over x minus x1. These are slope negative 2 over 3. So we have negative 2 over 3 equals to y minus our y1 is 2, and our x1 is negative 1, negative 1. Okay, minus 2 over 3 is y minus 2, and the denominator here becomes x plus 1. Negative times negative is positive. So we're going to cross multiply at this point. So we're going to have 3 brackets y negative 2 is equals to negative 2x plus 1. Alright, so let's open the bracket. So we have 3y negative 6, that's equals to negative 2x negative 2. So let's rearrange this. Let's call it like times. So 3y plus 2x is equals to negative 2 plus 6. And this is going to give us 3y plus 2x is equals to 4. So this equation, 3y plus 2x, is parallel to 2x plus 3y is equals to 6. In this example, we are given two equations. We have the first one, and that is kx. We're given kx minus 5y plus 6. And we have the second one, mx plus ny minus y equals to 0. They are both parallel, so it means that their slopes are the same, and we have to find a relationship connecting these three constants, mn and k. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to, this equation is in standard form. Let's convert it to slope intercept form. So this will be 5y, subtract negative kx from both sides of the equation. So this is going to give us negative kx. Subtract 6 from both sides too. This will give us negative 6. So what we are going to do is that we will divide all through by negative 5. So this will be minus 5, negative kx divided by negative 5, negative 6 divided by negative 5. So this will end up giving us y equals to k over 5x plus 6 over 5. So let's take this to be m1. So the slope of this equation, what's it called? The coefficient of x is k over 5. So we take the slope to be k over 5. So let's proceed to the second equation, and that's mx plus ny minus 1 equals to 0. So if we rearrange this, negative, let's subtract mx from both sides of the equation. So we're going to have ny is equals to mx. Let's add 1 to both sides of the equation is going to be plus 1. So let's divide all through by n. So y is equals to mn over n, mx over n plus 1. So the coefficient here, let's take that to be m2. So the coefficient here is negative m over n. So we are told that these two lines are parallel. The two lines are parallel. So if they are parallel, it means that m1 is equals to what? m2. So we are going to equate k over 5. We equate it to negative m over n. So we have k over 5 is equals to negative m over n. So we cross multiply. So we have kn is equals to negative 5m. So kn plus 5m equals to 0. So this is the equation connecting the three constants mn and k together. A line is said to be perpendicular to another line if they intersect at 90 degrees and if the product of their slopes is equals to negative 1. Let's take the slope of the red line to be m1 and the slope of the blue line to be m2. So we say these two lines are perpendicular if you multiply them together, m1 multiplied by m2, and it is giving you negative 1. This is the condition for perpendicularity. While for parallelism, m1 is equals to m2. Okay, perpendicular, parallel. Alright, let's take this example. Now, in this example, we are given an equation that's 3x plus 4y plus 6 is equals to 0. So let's convert this to slope intercept form, and that's going to give us 4y is equals to negative 3x negative 6, and divide all through by 4. I'm going to have y equals to negative 3x over 4, and I'm going to have negative 3 over 2. Okay, so let's take the slope. The first slope, let's take that to be m1, and that's negative 3 over 4. Okay, now let's consider the second equation. Now for the second equation, I'm going to have 4x minus by plus 3 equals to 0. Alright, so let's rearrange this to the intercept slope form, slope intercept form. So that's minus by, that's equals to negative 4x negative 3. So if I divide all through by negative b, so y will be negative 4x negative b negative 3 divided by negative b. So at the end of the day, we're going to have y is equals to 4 over bx negative 3 over the negative we cancel out. So the slope for this equation is actually, let's say m2 is equals to 4 over b, the coefficient of x. We are told in the question that the two lines are perpendicular. So that means that the product of m1 and m2 is equals to negative 1. So m1 multiplied by m2 is equals to negative 1. Okay, so let's have it. What's our m1? That's negative 3 over 4. Our m2 is 4 over b. That is equals to negative 1. So 4 we cancel out. We have negative 3 over b is equals to negative 1. Negative 2 we cancel out. And we are going to have 3 over b is equals to 1. So cross multiply, and our b is equals to 3. In this example, we find the equation of a straight line passing through point negative 3 and 5, and is perpendicular to this equation. Let's convert this equation to slope intercept form. So we are going to have 2x negative 4y plus 3 equals to 0. So the we subtract 2x from both sides of the equation. So we have 4y, negative 4y, negative 2x. Subtract negative 3 from both sides, we have negative 3. So divide all through by negative 4. So y is going to be negative 2 over negative 4x, negative 3 over negative 4. So this is just going to give us y is equals to 1 over 2. That's half of x plus 3 over 4. So the slope here, the coefficient of x, let's take this to be m1. The coefficient of x is half. Okay, alright. So the equation that we are looking for, if it is going to be perpendicular, if the line of that equation is going to be perpendicular to x, to 2x minus 4y plus 3, then the slope of if you multiply the slope of the two equations, then you're going to have negative 1. If you multiply their slopes, to give you negative 1. So m1 is half, and we have m2 negative 1. So we multiply through by 2. If we multiply through by 2, we have this negative 1 times 2. So that means that m2 is equals to negative 2. So that's the slope for m2. That's for the second equation passing through this point. So we take this to be our x1 and this to be our y1. So we are going to use this equation. M2 is equals to y minus y1 over x minus x1. So what's our m2? Our m2 is negative 2. That's equals to y minus our y1 is 5 and our x1 is negative 3. So this is going to give us x minus negative 3. So this is negative 2, y minus 5, x plus 3. So we're going to cross multiply. And we're going to have y negative 5 as negative 2, x plus 3. So this is y negative 5 is negative 2, x negative 6. So let's put it in a slope intercept form. So y is equals to negative 2x negative 6 plus 5. And our final answer will be y equals to negative 2x negative 1.